Shirley Jackson is one of the most important horror authors of all time.
Chances are you probably read her short story, The Lottery, in school.
You might have read her iconic novel, The Haunting of Hill House. But there was one novel she never got around to finishing. So for our series Unfinished Works, we're going to be covering that.
So come along with us as we look at Come Along With Me.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Eric.
And this is In Other Works. So if you haven't read a Shirley Jackson novel before, she writes her books in a chapter structure where each chapter sort of has multiple sub-chapters in them. I think she got to the point around where that first chapter would have ended.
I think so. I think there might have been a little bit more to finish the chapter off completely, but yeah, I agree. If you compare it to Hill House or We Have Always Lived in the Castle, tonally, it feels pretty different. It has kind of a lightness to it. The main character seems very positive and happy about, she's a new widow, but she seems very positive about where her life is going to go and the direction she's going in. She's taking on a new name, all this stuff. And at least to start with, it doesn't seem like as dark a novel. And I would say both Hill House and We Have Always Lived in the Castle have a pretty consistent tone throughout. So I'm curious what her intention was for this novel. Was it going to be different from her other novels, or would the tone have changed and it would have gotten darker as it goes along?
I don't think I agree with you. I think there's a bit of a kookiness to the protagonist involved. Yeah. But there's a definite off feeling for her, and I very much got the sense that any of those cheeriness stuff she has is her covering a lot of the pain of what she's dealing with, having to have lived her life as a social outcast pretty much, just having no real relations with people, her mother constantly dismissing her, and having to be seeing the dead.
We know she's a widow, and we know that she's decided to take on a new name, and so I have to wonder, is she covering her tracks as well?
Did she kill her husband?
Did she kill her husband? Yeah. While she was married, she lost her connection to the dead, and now that she's on her own again, that's coming back. And I wonder if maybe that would be where it was going, where her husband would haunt her or something.
Maybe that might be. So, and with her ability to see dead people and all of that, I wonder if M. Night Shyamalan has read this book. I'm definitely getting some sort of vibe with the kid of Sixth Sense,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And since that's where my mind went, and he's kind of terrified of living like that, that's why I probably saw it as less upbeat than the way you saw it, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's the present of the book and the past of the book.
Yeah.
And there was definitely a tone of being the outsider and all that stuff because of her ability to see and communicate with the dead. As a child. And I feel like the lightness I was talking about was more in that present time period. Although, me saying that, I also think maybe she killed her husband does kind of argue against that a bit, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely don't think it's going to stay that way.
I think also when I'm talking about lightness of tone, I am talking about in comparison to Hill House and to We Have Always Lived in the Castle.
I guess the way I can kind of see this as starting is you start at the point of after Eleanor's stolen the car and Haunting of Hill House without getting the past stuff.
But that past stuff, the way her relationship with her sister, the whole comment that she hated her mother and hates her sister early on really sets a tone that continues throughout the book. So I think you're right. If Hill House had started after she'd stolen the car, you would have a different feeling about Eleanor, but that background that we do get really...
Yeah, no, that's definitely true, but I still think, because with Eleanor's story and stuff, you can see how her sister treats her and all that sort of stuff, and the fact that it is also Eleanor's car along with them, and that's they're just not even acknowledging that fact at all. You're on her side, I think, during that with Haunting of Hill House, fully. And funnily enough, I think if you don't get that context, you might be oh, something's off with her, in a similar way to how I'm feeling about Angela in this book, that I think in a weird way causes you to expect less the ending of Haunting of Hill House than I feel something is going wrong. Going to go wrong in less.
I think there's also, though, and maybe this is part of what I mean about the tone is I feel like there's a real casualness to the way she brings up the fact that she has clairvoyant powers and can see the dead. And that's probably what I mean by lightness. Like, even though she had a was sort of a loner as a child and it caused her difficulty as a child, it doesn't seem like it's a burden to her. Like the way that sort of supernatural sort of thing in a Hill House is so much of a burden. Like the house is just so oppressive because of its supernatural powers.
To be fair, that's like takes the whole book to get that scope.
I mean, yes, but you feel it right from the beginning.
And with her being able to see dead people, what do you think of the fact that like the seance she actually does perform is still just full of crap?
That's one of the things that she can't be guaranteed that the dead people associated with the people who are showing up are necessarily going to be there. So it's funny that even a real psychic is a con artist when it comes to seances and stuff like that.
Although, here's a question. Because, you know, with Haunting of Hill House, how there's a whole sort of ambiguity of, like, hey, is the house, like, actually haunting Eleanor? Maybe she's actually insane. I feel like there's, like, maybe she's ended up doing another thing with that. Because I feel like there is also, like, a case that could be made that, like, she isn't actually seeing ghosts so far. I wonder if there's going to be an ambiguity kept with that, you know?
Maybe. I didn't get a sense that, like, the childhood memories are the memories of someone who's maybe slightly insane, but were actually, like, she did have those abilities at least as a child. Whether or not they're coming back now, I guess, is another matter.
Yo, could you imagine, if it's like it was actually real as a child and it came back fake as a trauma for response to her killing her husband?
Oh, so it comes back, but she's hallucinating everything as an adult? That would be a hard one to communicate, I think. But interesting. Yeah.
No, that definitely would be. And we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, it's a shame. I really enjoyed the small part of the book that we got to read.
Oh, it's a blast to read through. I was really enjoying it. I really like the protagonist. She has a fun narrative voice. I remember telling to you with Haunting of Hill House that, like, I feel like it would have been a better book if it was actually like limited from Eleanor's POV, not even necessarily a first person, but this one is a first person perspective from Angela's perspective. And I think that absolutely proves my point that I think I would have liked Haunting of Hill House more if it was locked into Eleanor's perspective.
We Have Always Lived in the Castle as a first person narration. It's really effective in that as well. Tonally very different.
Come Along With Me is definitely funny. Like,
yeah,
Angela is a very funny person. The fake last name of Motorman.
Yeah. Really believable last name, eh?
And the whole, like, just her going to that store to shoplift and then just being like...
telling the clerk that that's what she's there to do.
Yeah, and then just, like...
giving up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty great. And that's another thing, too, about the book. You're referring to her as Angela.
Yeah, that's not a real name.
We don't know what her name is.
No.
And I wonder if we ever would have found out. She talks about her husband, and she's been married to this artist, and who's died, and she felt like she had a happy marriage the way she talks about it, but she also says that her husband was a terrible artist. And it's just like, how do you stay married to someone who's, like, entire career you have no respect for?
I love that when she's getting sass from the landlady who she's planning on moving into her rooming house for. She's just like, oh, I like this woman.
Oh, yeah. She's sort of predicting that, we're going to get along great. And then meanwhile, she constantly sees positivity in that woman, even though, like, they sit down and, she helps her clean the kitchen and they have, like, coffee and baked goods, and then later finds out that the landlady is charging her extra for the baked goods she's been sharing with her and stuff like that. And she's still, like, cool, going along with it. Very positive outlook from her, which, yeah, I just wonder if that whole positive way of looking at the world was setting up for a big, like, crash at some point.
What do you think the title means?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, is it a reference to the dead? Like, they can come to her and communicate with her, so they come along with me? Or is it something we didn't get to yet? It is her husband saying, come along with me, it's time for you to die and cross over.
Oh.
Like maybe it's something we haven't gotten to any hint of what the title means yet.
No, that's a good point. I definitely get a sense she knew where she was going to go with it. It's just a shame we don't know what her sense was.
Yeah, but I guess if she did know where she was going with it, she had just had it all in her head because, she didn't leave any of those things behind. So like I said, I think it's a shame we didn't get the rest of the book, but I still think, if you've read everything Shirley Jackson's done and wish there was more to read, this is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely worth checking out. But speaking of, if you've read all of her other books, we're going to be doing a Shirley Jackson ranking at some point in the future, so be sure to look out for that.
And thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and do all those other things YouTubers tell you to do.
Seriously, give this book a read, and don't call me Shirley.